Hello everyone, my name is Hugh Blaine and this is my video blog for Claris Consulting. Allison and I are here today in the gorgeous place called Fogarty Winery, and I'm standing in the middle of some Chardonnay vineyards. And the reason why I'm here is because I want to make a connection for you between growing grapes, making great wine, and management consulting. Because at Claris Consulting, what we do is we help companies do better in the people side and the culture side. So I'm going to make that connection for you over the next 3 to 5 minutes. I had a conversation about 2 weeks ago with a senior level executive, senior VP of HR in an organization here on the West Coast. We've done some work around vision, mission, purpose, that kind of stuff. And in this conversation, she said to me, she said, Hugh, the brand attributes that we want, which are the forward-looking, the visionary, the innovative piece, and also taking personal responsibility and accountability for those things I'm having a little trouble getting some real traction on inside the organization. How do I do that better? So we had this conversation that starts with this question, and as a management consultant, I always want to start here. If that's the culture you're trying to create, are you role modeling that behavior? Because everything starts with the leader. So we had a conversation. If you're role modeling innovation, if you are role modeling forward looking, if you're role modeling personal accountability, you're going to get more traction with that. So we had a conversation, and so now I want to tell you, so why am I having this conversation with you while standing in the midst of Chardonnay grapes? Because frankly, there's a lot of similarity between management consulting and growing grapes. Now, I'm not a vintner, but I want to just do a little bit of wine grape growing 101. So these are Chardonnay grapes. And Dr. Thomas Fogarty, about late 60s, started buying land all over this part of Northern California. I believe they planted in 1978, first harvest was in 1981. They've been making Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, some Gewürztraminer, and some other wines for about 25 years. And one of the things that I know about growing grapes is that you have to match this vine with the right soil. And then you have to cultivate it, and you have to manage the canopy in such a way so that the sun hits the vines in the right way. And ultimately, come September, when it's harvest time, because of the right choices that were made about the soil, about the vines, about how you manage the canopy, then you get this harvest that can be really bountiful. And then the grapes are given to a winemaker who gets to do their magic, and here, that person is Michael. Is it Michael? Michael. Michael's been here since 1978 also, and I'll make a connection to that in a minute. So one of the things that I know is that this vineyard is a living, growing organism, as is our organizations at work. So here's what I know is that you, as a leader, as a person, as a team member, you're cultivating the soil of your vineyard at work. So think about this. What is the soil in the workplace? The soil in the workplace is the culture, the values, the things that are the most important to you. And then you match that with the behaviors that are the most important to nurture that soil so that you can get the harvest, which in corporate America is profitability, productivity, customer satisfaction, employee retention, whatever it may be. So here's my connection between the conversation I had with the senior VP and growing grapes, is that every single day she was planting the seeds of accountability, forward-looking, and innovation. She was either planting them or not. And she came to the conclusion that she wasn't planting that she wanted to do something different. So here's a connection that I want to make for you with regards to vineyards and also what's happening in the workplace. Is that there is soil that is in the workplace, and that is your culture. That's the values, the things that are the most important to you. And then you plant vines, and the vines are your words and your behaviors every single day that are planted into the soil of your culture that ultimately produces some sort of harvest for you. The question is, what are you doing on a daily basis to really focus on the soil and the vines within your vineyard at work? So let me give you a couple things to think about. Here's the first thing. One is to really define your culture by you sitting down by yourself and writing out 4 one-word descriptors for your culture. Is it innovative? Is it collaborative? Is it competitive? What are the words that you would use to describe your culture? And then what I want you to do is I want you to think about what are you doing on a daily basis to really nurture the soil in the best way possible. And when you look at those 2 things, tell me specifically, what are the behaviors that you're exhibiting? What are the words that you're exhibiting? What are the conversations that you're having to really permeate into the soil of your culture so that you can have the best harvest? Give you a little bit of other background on Fogarty as to the culture I think that they have here. So Anne is the sales and marketing person here, and she just rolled out the red carpet for us. She was great. Thank you, Anne, for welcoming us. But one of the things that we know is that the senior winemaker has been here since 1978. There's a newer, younger winemaker who I think is in his early 30s, and he's been here for about 6 years. And those 2 individuals, one who's maybe 60, one who's maybe about 32, very collaboratively come together and say, here's what I've known over my years, and here's some new ideas that you're bringing, and they come together in a really magical way. And the other thing we know about this particular winery is that when people come here, employees come here, they stay. So I think that Anne has been here for close to 15 years, and there's other people who have been here for 25 years. There's a lot of people that stay. And you know why they stay? It's because the culture here is really nurturing and rewarding for them. So my hat goes off to Fogarty Winery because they're doing some really cool things from a culture perspective, and they're also making some really nice wines also. So a couple of homework assignments for you is to sit down and just really clarify what's the culture and what's the soil that I am creating inside the organization, and then what am I doing on a daily basis to really nurture that in the best way possible. Send me an email, a reply in the blog, let me know, and then we'll carry on a conversation from there. Make it a great day.